The eye is a remarkable organ. We tend to trust our eyes without question. But there's much more to how we see than most of us realize. First, some anatomy. Light enters through the cornea and then through the pupil, which acts as a pinhole. The size of that pinhole is controlled by the iris. The lens then focuses the light onto the retina, lining the back inside of the eyeball. There are two main categories of photoreceptors found within the retina. The rods are used for detecting grayscale brightness as well as motion. The cones are used for detecting color. We have three types of cone receptors, those for red, green, and blue. Stimulated photoreceptors send their signals to the brain by way of the optic nerve. Interestingly, there are no photoreceptors where the optic nerve exits the eye, which creates a blind spot. Close your left eye and look at the round dot with your right eye. Now slowly move closer to the screen. At the right distance, the image of the X overlies your blind spot, which means it is no longer visible. The blood vessels that nourish your retina are found in front of the retina, which is a poor design because those blood vessels block light from actually reaching your retina. Thus, you can see the outlines of these blood vessels by looking through a pinhole at a white screen, and then shaking that pinhole slightly so that you can still see through it. As you shake the pinhole, the outline of those blood vessels come into view. Your pupil itself serves as a pinhole. As per pinhole optics, this means images are placed upside down and backward on your retina. The brain then flips these images so that you can make sense of the world. To prove this is so, close your eyelids while in front of a bright light. Now, gently push on your lower eyelid adjacent to your nose. With your eyes still closed, you'll witness the distortion of your eyeball behind your upper eyelid away from your nose. It's all reversed. Our eyes are particularly sensitive to edges by a process known as lateral inhibition. When a photoreceptor is getting hit by a lot of light, it sends a signal to adjacent receptors, causing them to become less sensitive. Look at these two identical squares that gradually get darker, moving from left to right. Now, let's put them together. Right here, there's more light coming to your eye. The adjacent photoreceptors detecting light from right here are depressed, which makes right here look a lot darker. What we're detecting is not accurate. But when it comes to highlighting edges or seeing contrasts far better than any camera, it works quite well. Stare at the dot at the center of this American flag. In a few moments, the screen will turn all white. The flag will go away, but you'll be left with what's called an after image. Keep staring. As you stare, the constant yellow light from around the stars causes your red and green photoreceptors to fatigue. Your red and green photoreceptors, when working together, cause you to see the yellow light. So as they remain so active, they become fatigued. Their signal becomes weaker than the blue photoreceptor, which begins to predominate. Ready? Aha! And for similar reasons, the cyan becomes red and the black becomes white. Why aren't we always seeing after images? That would be rather distracting, which is why the eye is constantly making ultra-small eye movements called microsaccades. With each microsaccade, the image is moved to a new location on your retina, which effectively means you're never staring at one location. Lastly, here's my all-time favorite. Physically, what we have here is an empty space moving about a circle of lilac dots. But keep staring at the plus sign in the center. Watch the empty space turn into a revolving green dot. Stare long enough, and you'll see the lilac dots disappear. All that remains is a revolving green dot, which of course isn't really there. So ask yourself, is seeing really believing? Our eyes are truly remarkable, but as with any instrument, it's important to know both its features and faults. Good energy.